Hey there. E- Ever feel like there's this like secret playbook
Mm-hmm.
to getting published in those top academic journals? You know,
Yeah.
the one that nobody ever tells you about?
It's like everyone else knows the unwritten rules, and you're just like, wait, what am I missing?
Exactly. So today we're cracking open that playbook.
Okay.
We are diving deep
Love it.
into 100 Research Rules of the Game by Niamh M. Brennan,
Oh, yeah.
who's worked with like tons of students and researchers. So,
Mm-hmm.
this is legit.
What I love about this book is how Brennan focuses on making research impactful.
Yeah.
It's not just about getting published,
Yeah.
right? It's about doing work that really like resonates, it pushes the boundaries.
Mm-hmm. You don't want it to just sit on a shelf and gather dust. You
Exactly.
want it to make a difference out there in the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Brennan breaks down these 100 rules into 6 sections
Okay.
that she calls levels, like levels in a game.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so level 1 is all about the overall research game plan.
Okay.
This is all the like mindset strategy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing that jumped out at me was Brennan's emphasis on actually enjoying your research.
Oh, for sure. That might seem obvious, but I can't tell you how many times I've seen
Right.
researchers just get so bogged down in a project that they're not passionate about, and it really shows
Oh, yeah.
in the final product.
Yeah, it's like trying to write a song if you don't even like music.
Exactly.
But Brennan also talks about playing to your strengths, which I think is so important.
Absolutely. If you're great with data, terrible at writing,
Yes.
team up with someone who loves to write.
Yes.
And kind of on that note, she's a huge proponent of developing a publication plan early on.
Okay, so you mean like actually like mapping out your research journey?
Yes, like literally a roadmap.
Okay. I'll admit I'm more of a go with the flow kind of researcher,
Sure.
but I can see how having that roadmap could be so helpful.
It's like having a compass. It's not going to tell you exactly which trees to hug, but it'll keep you headed in the right direction.
That makes a lot of sense. And speaking of direction, Brennan doesn't shy away from the tough stuff either.
Oh, no, she doesn't.
She's all about taking ownership of your work,
Yes.
even when things get tough, which I think is
Huh.
so important.
And that resonated with me because it's so easy to blame external factors, right?
Oh, totally.
When things aren't going your way.
Oh.
Reviewers are biased, the journal's too competitive.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, it is on you to produce the best possible research.
So true. And that includes dealing with rejection, which,
Oh, yeah.
let's face it, is practically a rite of passage
Of course.
in academia.
Yes.
I remember when I first started out.
Oh, we've all been there.
Oh my gosh, yes.
That feeling when you get that rejection email and you're just like,
The worst, yes.
ugh.
Like, it felt like the end of the world at the time.
Right.
But Brennan reminds us that even the most successful researchers have faced their fair share of rejections.
It's true. There are papers, groundbreaking papers that changed everything
Oh, yeah.
in their field. And they were rejected at first because it was such a new idea.
Wow.
And so it's about seeing that rejection not as a failure,
Okay.
but as a stepping stone.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a sign that maybe you need to tweak your approach.
Yeah.
Find a different journal.
For sure.
Go back to the drawing board a little bit.
It's all part of the process, right?
It is, yeah. It's all part of it. Okay, so level 2, this is where it gets really juicy.
Okay.
This is about designing research that packs a punch,
Okay.
It's not enough to just pick a topic that you're passionate about,
Right.
right? You also need to make sure it's something that journal editors are going to find compelling.
Yes, and Brennan talks about that a lot, is making sure you choose a research question that
Yeah.
is narrow and deep, not broad and superficial.
Can you give me an example of what that might look like?
Yeah, so let's say you're researching the impact of social media on teenagers.
Okay.
Instead of trying to cover every single aspect of social media,
Hmm.
you could focus on how does Instagram influence body image in teenage girls? Something
Yeah.
very specific.
So it's about making a significant contribution to a very specific area
Yes.
rather than trying to boil the ocean.
Exactly.
Got it.
And this is where really understanding the existing literature in your field is important.
So doing your homework.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Really digging into that literature, identify the key papers, and then articulate
Mhm.
how your work is building upon
Okay.
or challenging those existing conversations.
So it's not about reinventing the wheel. It's about adding some fancy new spokes.
Yeah,
So-
or like a new tire,
Okay. Yeah, I like that. A new tire.
a new type of tire.
A whole new type of tire. Okay.
Yes.
I like it. And Brennan also talks about making a substantive contribution to the field.
Yes.
So it's not enough to just rehash what's already been said.
Right.
You need to be asking yourself, What new insights am I bringing to the table?
Exactly, and that's where a critical friend is helpful.
Okay, what's a critical friend?
Someone who's not afraid to tell you
Right.
if your research is missing the mark.
Oh, so like a research buddy that will be brutally honest with you?
Yes,
Well,
brutally honest.
I need to find one of those.
They're invaluable.
Okay.
Because they don't have to be an expert in your exact field.
Okay.
Sometimes a fresh perspective from outside your bubble
Right.
can be really illuminating.
That makes sense because you get so, I don't know, like in your own little research world
Yes.
that you need that outside perspective.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking of bigger picture, Brennan also has some really interesting things to say about theory.
Okay, like about picking the right theoretical framework for your research.
Yes. She cautions against forcing your research into a theoretical box
Okay.
that it doesn't belong in.
Like trying to squeeze into your old jeans after a big holiday meal.
Yes, exactly. It's very uncomfortable, doesn't look great,
No,
and it's probably not going to end well.
probably not.
Yeah, so she really encourages researchers to think critically about, does this theory actually fit
Yep.
with the research question and what I'm investigating?
So it's about finding a theory that not only makes sense, but also like adds
Yes.
depth and nuance to your research.
Exactly. And on a practical level, she talks about not overwhelming the reader with citations.
Really, I thought the more citations, the better.
Right, we think.
Like, look at all this research I've done.
Yes, exactly. But she argues that it can actually work against you
Oh, okay.
because it seems like you're just trying to name drop
That's-
every single study.
So it's not just about the quantity, it's about the qualities
Yes.
and the relevance.
Exactly. Each citation serves a very specific purpose
Okay.
in your argument. It's about really building that cohesive narrative. Like each citation is a brick in your argument.
Okay, you don't want it to be flimsy.
Exactly.
You want it to be like sturdy and impactful. Yeah.
Exactly. And speaking of impact, let's talk about how we actually communicate these findings.
Yes.
Because we can do amazing research, but if we don't communicate it well...
Totally. Nobody's going to read it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've definitely slogged through some really dense, jargon-filled papers.
Oh, yeah, we've all been there.
Oh, I'm just like, I am more confused coming out of this than I was going in.
Exactly. And so level 3 gets into this,
Yeah.
writing like a pro.
Okay.
And Brennan really breaks down how to transform your research into a compelling story.
Okay, so it's not enough to just present the facts. You need to
No,
weave them in a way that people are,
it's a narrative.
yeah, it's a story.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she has a lot to say about writing style.
Okay.
Using clear, concise language, active voice, she's tough, but fair.
I can get behind that. I think we've all been guilty of like hiding behind jargon
Oh, for sure.
or like writing overly complicated sentences to sound smart.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
But clarity is paramount.
Okay.
And she even says to write as if a final year undergraduate should be able to understand your work.
Really? That seems counterintuitive. Wouldn't you want to write for like the experts in your field?
Well, yes, but her point is,
Okay.
if you can explain a complex concept
Okay.
in a way that an undergraduate can grasp,
Right.
that shows true mastery.
I like that.
Right. So it's not about, you're not dumbing it down.
Right. It's about making it accessible.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that.
And she's tough. Like, label your variables consistently.
Okay, so like if I call it sample size on page 3,
Yes.
I can't call it the sample on page 10.
Nope. You gotta,
Okay.
be consistent.
Got it.
She also talks about this armchair test.
Oh, yeah. What's the armchair test?
So the armchair test is, can someone read your work and understand it without having to call you for clarification?
Okay, so no more frantic emails from colleagues being like, what does this mean?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Make it self-explanatory.
Got it.
And so thinking about that compelling story,
Yes.
she gives some concrete tips.
Okay.
So first of all, a strong title.
Okay.
Like you want a title that's going to grab the reader's attention.
Okay, so no more like obscure titles that nobody understands.
Exactly. Clear, informative, it accurately reflects the paper.
Got it.
And then, of course, the introduction is key.
Right.
Having that clear and compelling introduction that
Yeah.
really outlines the research problem, why it matters, what you're going to do.
It's like a roadmap for the rest of the paper.
Exactly. And then using headings and subheadings
Yes. Break it up.
to guide the reader.
Because nobody wants to stare at a wall of text,
Exactly.
no matter how brilliant you are.
Make it easy on the reader.
Okay.
Use those headings and subheadings. And then we get into tables and figures, which
Yes, they could be their own special kind of nightmare.
they can be, but they can also be our best friend.
Okay.
Right. A well-designed table or figure can make data so much easier to understand.
Oh, for sure. And sometimes it can reveal patterns that you didn't even see in when you were just looking at the data.
Exactly. But the key is they need to be clear, concise, and standalone.
What do you mean by standalone?
Someone should be able to look at your table or figure and get it
Okay.
without having to read your whole paper.
Okay.
Clear purpose, descriptive caption, visually appealing.
Okay, so no more cramming like a million data points into one table.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, got it.
And she even suggests looking at journals in your field
Okay.
to see how they're doing it well.
Oh, that's smart.
Get some inspiration.
Yeah, like get inspiration from the pros.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that.
And then once we've kind of mastered this writing,
Yes.
we're ready to share our work, which brings us to level 4, conquering the conference circuit.
Ah, yes, the conference circuit.
Yes.
It's like a trade show, but for research.
It is. It's a chance to show off your work, network, maybe get a free pen.
It's a free swag.
Exactly. Exactly. But Brennan really emphasizes that presenting at conferences
Yeah.
is the best preparation for publishing.
Okay, so it's like a dress rehearsal.
Yes. Test your ideas, practice your presentation skills, get feedback.
Yeah, work out the kinks.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
But she emphasizes choosing conferences strategically.
Okay.
So it's not just about the topic.
Okay.
It's about who else is going to be there,
Got it.
who's presenting, who are the attendees.
So it's like, I don't know, picking which music festival to go to,
Yes.
right? Like, are there some big names there, but also,
Yes.
some up-and-comers?
Yes. Are you going to learn something new?
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
And just as importantly, be an active audience member,
Okay.
right? Ask questions, give feedback.
Okay.
They're all in this together.
Yes, we are.
Right. And she also reminds us that conferences are prime networking opportunities.
Oh, for sure. Put yourself out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
You never know who you're going to meet.
Exactly.
That future collaborator,
Mm-hmm.
a mentor, a reviewer on your next paper.
So true. Okay.
So speaking of reviewers,
Yes, those reviewer.
Brennan has some advice for dealing with those sometimes dreaded
Oh, yes, please tell me, because yes.
reviewer comments.
Yes. How do we handle those?
It's all about mindset.
Oh.
Really embrace these comments
Okay.
with a positive attitude.
Okay.
Remember, these reviewers are taking time out of their busy schedules.
Even when it feels like they've taken a red pen and just like
Yes.
ripped my paper to shreds.
Especially then, this is to help you.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
This is to make your work better.
Yeah, no, I can admit there have definitely been times where I've gotten reviewer comments and I'm just like, no, they're wrong.
Yes.
But then I'm like, okay, let me just sit with this for a minute. And then I'm like, oh, they're right.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
And so she also gives advice about revise and resubmit.
Okay. The dreaded R&R. Yes.
Yes. Prioritize those revisions.
Don't let them sit in your inbox.
Don't let them sit because we've all been there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then what if, despite our best efforts,
Yes.
we get rejected?
Yeah, what then?
Right. Rejections are just a part of academic publishing.
Okay.
But she says, take the time to really understand why.
Okay.
Don't just discard that email.
Right.
Read the comments.
Okay.
Try to see your work through the reviewer's eyes.
I see.
And once you've done that,
Yeah.
you can make your next move.
Which brings us to level 5, navigating the publication maze.
Yes, because now we have this revised, beautiful manuscript.
Yes.
We need to find a home for it.
Okay, and by home you mean like the right journal.
Yes.
Okay.
Not just any journal.
Right. It needs to be a good fit.
Yes, and that's where her backyard strategy comes into play.
Okay, the backyard strategy. Can you remind me what that is?
Yeah, so it's about finding that sweet spot
Okay.
where your research fits in the existing conversation.
Got it.
So if you're researching gardening in urban environments,
Yes.
you wouldn't submit to a journal about astrophysics.
Okay, that makes sense.
Right. So find where it naturally fits.
Find a journal where your research could be like, yes, I belong here.
Exactly. And she says to really get to know the journal,
Okay.
read the aims and scope, familiarize yourself with the editors,
Okay.
and most importantly, read recent publications.
So don't just skim a few abstracts.
No.
Really roll up your sleeves.
Get to know this journal.
Okay.
Become best friends.
Become best friends with the journal. Okay.
Yes. Because you want to make sure it's a good fit.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's like finding a roommate.
Yes.
You want to make sure your styles mesh.
I like that. Okay.
All
I never thought about it that way, but it makes a lot of sense.
And then she gives tips on how to signal to the editor.
That you've done your homework, right?
Okay.
Like citing papers from that journal.
Okay, so it's like you're saying, hey, look, I'm in the club.
Exactly.
I'm part of this conversation.
My research belongs here.
Yes, exactly. Okay.
And then what if we do all this and we still get rejected?
Right. Because it happens.
It does happen,
Yeah.
even with the best preparation.
Yeah.
But rejections happen.
Yeah.
And, it's easy to take it personally.
Oh, it's so easy to take it personally.
But she reminds us that even the most successful researchers
Right.
face rejection.
Yeah, it's just redirection. Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it might sting a little,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't mean your research is bad.
Okay.
It just means it might be a better fit somewhere else.
So dust yourself off and try again.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
Okay.
And each rejection is an opportunity to grow.
Okay, I like that.
Right. So we've done all this. We've designed this killer research.
Yeah.
We've written like a pro. We've braved those conferences.
I've navigated the maze. Yes, but there's one more level.
Okay.
Level 6. The art of co-authorship.
Ah, yes. Collaborating. The delicate dance of co-authorship.
Yes, it can be so rewarding,
It can.
but it can also be challenging.
It can be very challenging. Yeah, for sure.
I've had both, for sure.
Okay, so before we dive into like the potential pitfalls,
Yes.
let's talk about why you would want to co-author.
Yes.
Why do we do this to ourselves?
Because 2 heads are better than 1 most of the time.
Okay, I like that.
Right. They can bring different perspectives, different skill sets.
Mm-hmm. It's good to have that support system too.
Yes. And like someone to commiserate with
Oh, yes. For
when
sure.
things go wrong.
Yeah.
But, she does caution against some of those pitfalls.
Okay, like what? Give me the gossip.
Well, not gossip, but those co-authors that
Uh-huh.
don't really contribute much.
Yes.
But they want their name on the paper.
Oh, yeah. We all know those people.
Right. So be mindful of everyone's contributions.
Okay.
Make sure everyone's pulling their weight.
So, like, before you even jump into that collaboration,
Yes.
have those clear conversations about,
Expectations, communicate.
yeah, expectations, communication, like,
Yeah, how are we going to track all of this?
yeah, exactly. What are our roles?
Yes.
Okay.
And most importantly, choose your collaborators wisely.
Because it can go really badly
It can go very bad.
if you're not a good fit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But when it works well,
Yes.
it is magical.
It can be a really, really great experience.
Yeah, finding that balance.
Yeah. It's like you got your research squad rolling with you.
Yes.
Yeah. Much better than being on your own.
Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Exactly. And speaking of teamwork, I feel like we've really covered a lot of ground
We have.
in this deep dive into Niamh Brennan's book,
Yeah.
100 Research Rules of the Game.
It's a good one.
We've gone from like crafting the research question
Yeah.
to navigating peer review.
The whole journey.
And I really appreciate, like, it's not just about,
Ah.
the technical aspects.
Yeah.
It's about bringing passion and perseverance. And I love that she even talks about bringing, like,
Yes.
playfulness to it.
Playfulness, joy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this is not just about, like, checking boxes and,
Right.
trying to get as many publications as possible. It's about,
It's about contributing to your field,
yes.
pushing boundaries.
Yes, exactly.
Asking interesting questions.
And, like, having fun while you're doing it.
Exactly.
Okay, but I feel like she has, like, one, like, secret weapon
Okay.
that she ends on.
Okay.
Like, her final rule
Is it?
is enjoy your research.
Oh, I love that.
I know. I'm like, wait, that's it?
Right.
Like, after all of this, it's just like, find the joy in it?
Yes, because when you're passionate about it, it shows.
It really does.
And when it shows, other people are interested.
Totally. It's contagious.
Your mentors, your collaborators, the editors.
Yes. Okay, so that's it.
That's the secret.
That's the secret.
Find the joy.
Find the joy in your research, and who knows, maybe that's how you'll make your next big breakthrough.
Exactly.
Until next time, happy researching.